Are you aware?
Hey guys, I hope you're aware
of what's going on lately.
Okay. One of the guys that we like to kind of make fun of on this channel, give a little bit of a hard time, is an internet YouTube comedian. It goes by the name of, what is it? Tim Pool. Timothy Pool. And he does this wacky channel where he kind of just, and this, he also does this. He's very easy to make fun of. He seems like kind of an innocent, hapless kind of a dude. But this video, he's the easiest person to make fun of on YouTube. It is to the level of very hacky, I think it feels like to me, to make fun of him, because he just kind of self-owns in every video, and this is one of the best ones ever, to be honest.
And now we have one of the most brilliant ideas I've ever heard. Note the sarcasm. Keep that little smart. San Francisco rolls out program to pay people $300 a month not to shoot each other in a bid to curb gun violence in woke city where crime is basically legal. Yes. Now their idea is, hey, how about we pay criminals? Something many on the left have floated before. This idea that if we're going to spend 30 grand to incarcerate someone, why don't we just pay them 20 grand not to commit the crimes? It sounds like a good idea if you're a child. Keep that little smug.
He's really keeping that little smug, which is our new catchphrase of this channel. Keep that, Tim, keep that little smug. So he's really keeping that little smug about this, but check this out. This is from CBS San Francisco. In many cases, sadly, the common denominator is that these folks do not have any sort of income. And so part of what we're trying to do is make sure that the money is not a barrier to turning your life around, said San Francisco Mayor London Breed. London Breed? The incentives could equal up to $500 a month on gift cards if all of the benchmarks, like attending parole appointments, finding a job, are met. It is modeled after, here's the important part, here we go now. It's modeled after, among others, so this kind of program has been tried in other cities, and I wonder what happened. Richmond's program, which was found to have decreased gun violence 55%. So in Richmond, it went from this, then they tried this program and it went to this. I'm a really clever guy doing really great work here that I will always be proud of on YouTube.
Like and subscribe.
If he just looked a little bit more into this, I think he would have and should have bailed on this story, because it pretty much proves everything that he and like all the other like goofy right-wingers on YouTube talk about, which is like none of this stuff works. It's a pull your pants up or whatever. It's now, this is like kind of tested. This is actually like a scientific experiment that turned out to work. I would say the problem with this is that it's a very like nibble around the edges. Like, look, because it says $500 in like gift cards and stuff here. Really, they make people go through a bunch of like interviews and all this stuff. People who probably have like a criminal history or whatever. They make them go through a bunch of interviews, fill out a bunch of forms, fill out a bunch of papers, and basically audition to become part of this program. There's only going to be 10 people in this. He's doing this in his pants, by the way. For a program that's going to have like 10 people in it to test to see if it works. You know, just a little bit around the edges kind of crap, but yet it still worked. It just proved if you make people a little less desperate, their lives start to get better. And things start to get better and their communities start to improve. And part of the thing about this is like, hey, instead of upping the police budget, why don't we just give these people some money? So they are a little less desperate. Let's take some of the pressure off of these people. And it worked.
I'm wondering how they go about doing this. Is it going to be that there's someone who does shoot someone, and then instead of going to jail, they'll say, whoop, if you don't do it again, we'll give you $300 a month? Or are they going to show up to a random person's house and be like, based on your lack of education and impoverished living standards, we assume you're going to shoot somebody, so here's money not to do it?
He's like, I wonder how this is going to work. Well, you could look into it. You could read a different article. He always reads the Daily Mail, which is funny because the Daily Mail is actually really clever, which is they'll put like a really scary headline up top for you know, like conservative old people. It'll be like, they're going to pay criminals to not kill people. And then they'll just read the headline. They'll be like, the world's out of control. The world's out of control. I can't believe this. Well, back to my YouTube videos. But then you read down a little bit more and it actually tells like it gives a little bit more of the actual nuance of the thing. So you're like, hey, wait a second. That headline, I guess, seemed to have tricked me. But he's like, how are they even going to do this? Well, I mean, you could look at other places besides the Daily Mail to learn more about it. You know, that's one option.
Are you aware
that you could do that? Officials say the program's participants will not be selected without vetting. Again, it's going to be 10 people. There will be an interview, referral, and assessment process to make sure those chosen are prepared to make a change. The program is part of Mayor Breed's plan to start transitioning some policing dollars back into neighborhoods of color to stop problems before they start. Again, I would say that this is a real nibbling around the edge, like giving somebody $300 a month or whatever. I mean, if something that little is reducing crime by that much, 55%, it's like, come on. It's like we kind of know what the problem is at this point. That if people are desperate, you know, which this is another problem. People kind of have to be desperate. If you're going to want to get people to work at Wendy's for $0 an hour, they gotta have to be kind of desperate. But at the same time, if they're that level of desperate, if they're Wendy's level of desperate, if they're Chipotle level desperate to be making that little money, that desperation can go in different directions. So a little bit of a problem that we don't like to talk about there. But yeah, even something that little, $300 a month in a gift card, is like having a massive effect on crime. That's an indication right there. That's an indication that this is not that people just love to do crime. People just love to do armed robbery. That it's actually kind of a problem of people not having enough money.
They're like, we're not going to do that. We're going to give the money to the worst, like the people committing crimes. Amazing. But we want them to turn their lives around. So what do you think's going to happen when hardworking people who can't make ends meet see criminals getting paid and are like, yo, I work every day. I work hard, my fingers to the bone, so that I'm honest, so that I don't I'm not committing crimes. I'm working hard to, get a job at Starbucks, McDonald's, or a factory or something. And then you watch criminals get free money. You're going to be like, I'm in the wrong line of work. Might as well just be a criminal, right? It's a...
I mean, this is like a 90-year-old crabapple white guy who like sits in his like a recliner thinking. They're just all these hard-working people, and they look at somebody who gets a $300 gift card, like the poorest of the poor person gets a $300 a month gift card. People are going to look at that. These people who are working at Starbucks or a factory, they're going to see this guy getting a $300 gift card every month. And they're going to say, I'm going to do an armed robbery to get to go to do some time. I'm going to do some time in the slammer. I'm going to do a little bit of this so that I can get convicted, go to prison, in the hopes of that I'll jump through all the hoops that you have to jump through to be part of this program of 10 people to get that $300 gift card. Tim, this is you're right. This is a brilliant scam. This is a brilliant scam. This is, yeah, it's something that like a grandpa says. It's something that a grandpa says where you're just like, all right, grandpa, nowadays they're paying people to not kill people. What has happened? Okay, grandpa, I'm sure. Where did you get that, grandpa? I got an ad about it. I was on old people TikTok, and I got one. It came up in my feed, and now I'm more informed. So get off my lawn. I'm your grandson, man. Still,
you're gonna be like, I'm in the wrong line of work. Might as well just be a criminal, right? It's a ridiculous proposition. Much like when the left often says,
I would say like when Tim Pool was at Occupy Wall Street, if you're like doing honest work at like Starbucks or something, and then you see like a bunch of financial Epstein criminals get off, just get paid off, get bailed out, then you might say I'm in the wrong line of work. Doing honest things in this country I'm in the wrong line of work. A dude can just lie on YouTube and get a skate park mansion. Yeah, I'm in the wrong line of work.
Much like when the left often says, why don't we just put homeless people in empty homes?
This is one of a bunch of studies that has proven this exact same thing, but check this out. This is from The Hill just like a couple months ago. Researchers surprised by experiment that gave homeless people thousands of dollars. A group of 50 homeless people were given about $5,700 and were allowed to spend the money however they wished, as researchers followed their lives for more than a year. This is from October 9th, 2020. Hey, shut up, dude. I'm not into it. Researchers found that those who received the money, on average, were able to find stable housing faster, maintain financial security and stability, and increase their spending on food, clothing, and rent. Spending on alcohol, cigarettes, and drugs fell by an average of 39%. Foundations for Social Change CEO Claire Williams says their findings were beautifully surprising. This has been proven over and over again. Here's just one quick study. This was from September 17th, 2020. Study finds permanent supportive housing is effective for highest risk chronically homeless people. And this really does seem, from the research that I've looked at, is kind of case closed on this. You give homeless people homes, their life tends to turn around, and it's cheaper than like just cycling them through criminal justice and all this crap. So you can look this up on your own. It's out there, but it's pretty clear. Another shocking instance of Tim Pool not being correct.
Are you aware?
I would like to ask Tim.
Are you aware
of this study? I still do think those 5G towers got to come down.
Take the towers down now.
For this drop, I thought of a joke, and I thought, don't say it, but I'll just say it as this is what you shouldn't say. This is an example of a thing you should not say on YouTube, okay? You know, when 9/11 happened, they should have just asked.
Take the towers down now.
Thank you guys, and I will see you never again. Okay, here we go.
Are you aware
of the funniest Tim Pool moment? I think every time I watch one of these Tim Pool videos, I'm like, this is the funniest moment I've ever seen on YouTube. I think this one might have topped them, because this is just like, he's just freewheeling. He pulls up some clips and he's like, I'll do a little improv. It'll be good. Put it out there, and then I'll get some of this. Totally understandable, but you end up with hilarious moments like this. Here we go.
Experience working with homeless shelters. There is a small percentage that are homeless through no fault of their own, through bad circumstances, that desperately want to get jobs and recover. And there are a lot of homeless people who are homeless because of some choice or mental illness, and you can't just put them in a home and expect the home to be maintained. Look, we had a major storm just roll through the East Coast, and I just found out at the neighborhood we were in before, massive damage. Trees fell down, roads are shut down. They can't even get emergency crews in, power's out in some areas, and I'm like, wow. What are you going to do? You're going to put a homeless person at the house, and then when the tree falls down and smashes into it, it just sits there? Or someone's going to have to go and fix it. Who's that going to be? People need to maintain homes.
Did you catch what he just said? I mean, I'm not going to play it again. You can rewind and listen to it. Rewind. Yeah, I'm 1,000 years old. Go back and listen to it again. He's saying, like, look, you can't just give a homeless person a home. And then he gives the example of used to live in a house that a tree fell on it. And it's like, well, if that was a homeless person's house, they would just let that tree... they would just let that tree sit there. Why is that, Tim? Because it's a homeless person. It really is like little kid thinking. Like, Dad, what if a homeless person had a home? A tree would hit it, and then they wouldn't get it. No, because they are not used to having a home. That's right. Just watch your movie and be quiet. We're trying to drive to Grandma's house. If you gave a homeless person a house, and a tree fell on their house, they would just let that house, like, leave the tree there. That is... I almost don't know what to make of it. I don't even know how to deal with this. But anyway, I mean, the thing that you could learn is that in study after study, if you give homeless people a place to live, their lives tend to become better. And they tend to be able to become more stable. And they tend to be able to get themselves out of, danger in a horrible situation. It's pretty straightforward. So we have to we have to have goofuses and right-wing idiots come in and really spin it with absolute nonsense to confuse people about something that's relatively simple. I mean, also, if you really wanted to hammer this home, this is something that in every study I've read about this, you get similar results like this that are even more like, if you really wanted to hammer this home, here you go. The study also found the funds freed up space in shelters and saved the shelter system $8,100 per person over a year. So think about that. They gave them $5,700 and they saved $8,100. This is like, I mean, it's all the results from everything I've read about this are similar. It's just like, look, if you help these people who are in the absolute most desperate of situations, not only does it help a human being's life, it saves money too, because they stay out of the shelter system and the criminal justice system, which are very expensive. So,
Take the towers down now.
Get emergency crews in, powers out in some areas, and I'm like, wow. What are you going to do? You're going to put a homeless person at the house, and then when the tree falls down and smashes into it, it just sits there? Or someone's going to have to go and fix it. Who's that going to be? People need to maintain homes.
Does Tim Pool think there's something like just innate, inherent in the mind of someone who was homeless or is homeless for some period of time that they're just like, I don't understand a home repair. Because I've been homeless, the very concept of like anything related to a home is just too foreign. Oh, a tree smashed through my roof. No, this is not for me because homes are just too complicated for me. Because for a while I didn't have one. So therefore, I've just kind of I'm out of practice with the home situation. So I guess, what should I do? Just like eat a sandwich? Hey, a tree fell through my roof. I guess I'll just have a half lemonade, half iced tea? Is that the solution? I don't know, because I was homeless at one point.
And you can't just put a homeless person in a home and think the problem's solved. It's childish thinking.
It's childish thinking or scientifically proven. Experiments have been done and proven thinking. So either or. Either childish or actual has been proven is way more effective. Either way, those are two things to think about. And we're just throwing out ideas. These kind of two ideas go together, and they're really like, just really like very, very simple, again, very old man, angry old man thinking, because they're both kind of the same thing. It's both like, if you give anyone anything, then people are going to say, oh, I don't need to do anything. I should just be doing what they're doing, which is just getting free things. Just the idea of somebody getting $5,700, just getting it, is like, so there's just something about it that's been like really propagandized into these people's brains that just like everybody would quit working if you're homeless, you could get $5,700. Have you in your life ever considered like, you know what? I am going to not have a home anymore. I'm going to like quit my job, not have a home anymore, live in a shelter for a while, and then like apply to this thing so that maybe I could get into this program. No, it only applies to like help people who have gone through some really, really difficult situations, but they just can't wrap their head around this because we've been really trained to think in these really like childish terms.
I'm not sure $300 is going to cut it.
No.
Is $300 enough for your insurance, your medication,
No.
to pay for rent, to
No.
pay for your food? No.
No.
So even if you give them $300 or $500 if they get jobs, they're still going to be like, yo, I can make more money and make money faster just taking it from people. So why do this? You'd have to pay them a lot more. But then the problem is the more you pay, the more people are like, yo, why am I working $15 an hour for this job when I can get money for free?
You're kind of onto something here, Tim. You're kind of onto something here that, there's a big problemo here. There's a big problemo with and look, this is this is something that you got to face. Even if you're just like, you're like Tim Pool, you're like, look, I'm doing pretty well in this economic situation. I'm doing pretty well. The problem is that it does require a certain amount of desperation. You know, if you got jobs that you need filled for, $11 or $12 an hour, you're going to need people to be a little bit desperate. Okay? And yeah, in this situation, $300 a month in gift cards after a whole bunch of jumping through hoops, if that lowers crime by 55%, imagine what we could do with like a little bit more. And again, what they're saying is, let's take this from, instead of just policing, let's try to like preempt crime with this kind of stuff. And it unfortunately, even little nibbles like this seem to be working. So Tim Pool's going down a path that I think some of his fans might not like. Some of them might not like. They might hear this. They're listening to this, you know. They got their little Dre earbuds in, and they hear this, and they do this. He also tells his audience, I wonder how much of his audience lives in California, but he tells them to vote for Larry Elder in the recall, who's just like, it's a dude who figured out a scam to like be a right-wing troll for the past like 25 years or whatever, and he's just kind of done this. This guy's truly the best. This is Larry Elder. He is an ardent supporter of President Donald Trump, frequently praising him on Twitter. Elder has argued that it's unfair to blame Trump for the 2021 state capitol attack, the 2021 gathering of the Juggalos. Elder did, however, oppose. So look, he's not all about it. Elder did oppose Trump's support for tariffs and the reduction. This is one of the things he opposes that Trump did. The reduction of U.S. troops in Afghanistan. In his 2000 book, The 10 Things You Can't Say in America, Elder laid out a 10-point plan. And the 10 things you can't say. We know now for sure conservatives, they're really serious about the free speech stuff. We have a test case on this channel of how serious they are about, we're not allowed to say anything. Hey, you're an idiot. Flag. Take this down. In his 2000 book, The 10 Things You Can't Say in America, Elder laid out a 10-point plan to save America. He called for abolishing the Internal Revenue Service, creating a national sales tax, reducing government by 80%, ending welfare and entitlements, abolishing the minimum wage, and eliminating corporate taxes. So he's like an ANCAP, basically. Elder opposes minimum wage laws, arguing that the ideal minimum wage is $0. He opposes universal basic income. I would love to ask him, like, he's got to be for no age limit for hiring people, like no child labor laws too, right? Elder has been critical of public sector labor unions, especially the California Teachers Association, right? Because this dude. Like, no wonder Adam Carolla has been defending this guy. They're both the same kind of moron. He contends that some 15... if you're a teacher, just shut up. Just shut up and take... You don't deserve any kind of support or to be a member of any kind of group. Just shut up. Isn't that kind of authoritarian? Shut up! And previously proposed that thousands of teachers in the state be fired. He later said that he favored more charter schools and private schools instead, of course. He wants to just funnel money up to those lunatics. Social issues. Oh, here we go. Elder has argued that Roe v. Wade should be overturned. Well, Texas is on it, Lair, calling the decision one of the worst decisions that the Supreme Court... So he's an authoritarian lunatic. Elder has a history of making anti-LGBT remarks on Twitter. He has repeatedly used male pronouns when referring to transgender women. In 2021, Elder accused California of having a soft on crime ethos. To quote the great Jello Biafra California Uber Alice, if you guys elect this lunatic, which they're probably not going to, I would guess. Who knows? But this guy's a true kook. Okay, you know what? I'm going to move to California just to vote for him for this one. Vaccines were... So he didn't challenge a guy who called into his radio show and said that COVID-19 vaccines were a dangerous part of a Bill Gates orchestrated plot, and a page on Elder's website promoted the call-in listeners' comments by saying, "You want to hear this physician's take on the vaccines." Hell yeah. Let's get that. Hold on, since we're on Wikipedia here, just so we know it's this guy. I don't know. I think TrueAnon might be able to make this case that Elder might be right on this one. So yeah, there we go. I mean, we make fun of these like goofy right-wingers all the time, but they're like, obviously there's nothing. There's no, they're not contributing anything. It's simply like a pyramid scheme scam at this point, saying this stuff. It kind of like throws some red meat to very angry and confused people, and that's a job now for these people.
Disgusting. Weird.
But as we've seen, in California, there's some kooks. There's some kooks out there, and if you start throwing out some anti-mask stuff, as we watched in that board meeting video. There's enough kooks. There's a lot of kooks. There's a lot of people who are, they're kind of...
I'm calling bluff.
Their main political concern is...
Take the towers down now. Are you aware?
So, who knows? Who knows? Anyway, guys, thank you for attending my...
Party.
And I will see you...
You go in the middle of the woods.
Bye-bye. Hey everybody, and thanks so much for watching this video. Like all the other YouTube and podcast perverts, I now have a Patreon. Every week on this Patreon, I'm uploading 2
Exclusive.
Patreon exclusive shows. They're like real shows, more produced, more edited.
A behind-the-scenes show where I reveal all my secrets, and a show where we go deep on an important topic that you will want to know about. Also, you get the daily and complete live show audio-only feeds. And at the top level, for only 25 bones, you can become a producer. These people that you're seeing right here make this program possible. Without them, nothing. It goes right in the toilet, right in the trash, and we set it on fire. Ooh, these are the most beautiful people of my whole life. Look at these people. Are you kidding me? Yeah, right. Good, nice try. Good, nice try. Good, nice try. It's these people who make it work. So please, for Christ's sake, become a patron. Bye-bye. Love you.